All right, today we're going to jump into something big. We're distilling the core philosophy from Dankoe's Purpose and Profit to help us totally reframe our relationship with work. We're going to explore how you can move beyond a job you just tolerate and actually design a life's work that merges who you are with what you do.
So let's just kick things off with this really powerful idea that challenges, the very foundation of how we're taught to think about our careers. It's like from our earliest days, we've been programmed with this lesson that our main purpose is to help build someone else's dream, not our own.
And that idea, well, it leads us right into our first section. We're going to explore that all too common feeling of being stuck in a system that really wasn't designed for our personal fulfillment, a system that can honestly feel like a trap.
So what does that trap actually feel like? Well, it's the sense of being guided down a known path, not a new one. It's this journey of, learning things you don't care about to get ready for a life you don't really want. And you just end up trapped in this mechanical and, let's face it, totally replaceable role.
And think about it. When your work is a problem, it's not something you can just switch off at 5 p.m. It becomes this total drain on all your resources. The time, the energy, the money that you could be using to build a different life, it all just gets burned up maintaining the one you have now, and that keeps you stuck right where you are.
Okay, so if that's the trap, how in the world do we get out of it? How do we even begin to think differently? Well, this next section explores the solution, and it starts by redefining the very nature of what work even is.
The author presents this really clear hierarchy. Look, at the bottom, you've got a job. That's purely about survival, just getting the money. A career is a step up, right? It asks you to develop yourself. It brings challenges and some clarity. But a calling is the real game changer. That's an obsession. It's work you literally can't pull yourself away from. And it becomes so valuable that other people can't help but pay you for it. And this is such a brilliant, crucial distinction. You can build a super successful career, climb the ladder, take on new challenges, all without it ever being your true calling. But if you find your calling, it will always become your career because your obsession with it is what's going to drive your growth and your value.
So making that leap from a career to a calling doesn't just change how we see our work. It demands that we adopt a totally new state of mind. And this, right here, is the path forward.
This is absolutely key. We have to redefine these words. Entrepreneur isn't a title you put on a business card. It's a mental shift. It's the move from being a passive person who just receives goals to becoming the assertive creator of your own life's direction.
And that brings us to the absolute core concept here. High agency. This is the fundamental difference maker between those two mindsets. It's all about taking full responsibility for every problem, creating your own path, and just pursuing it relentlessly without waiting around for someone else's permission.
Now, choosing this path of high agency, it's not exactly a walk in the park. It means stepping off that well-lit, paved road and into what the author calls a dangerous jungle. It requires a completely different kind of education and a resilience that you can only build by accepting that failure is just a necessary part of the process.
But, one of the biggest mental blocks for so many people on this path is our weird, complicated, and often negative relationship with money. To actually move forward, we have to confront this head-on.
So many of us have been taught that chasing wealth is a bad thing. Maybe it's unethical or greedy. But here's the twist. That exact mindset is what holds us back. It actually prevents us from getting the resources we need for growth, for creativity, and for making a real impact.
And this question, wow, it forces us to confront a really hard truth. Money is deeply woven into almost every single aspect of modern life, from the food we eat to the phone in our hands. So to demonize it is to be in constant conflict with the very system we live in, and that just creates this endless internal friction.
So the journey of high agency reframes money completely. You might start out over here, creating things just to survive, just to make money. But the ultimate goal is to flip the script and get over here, where you make money so that you have the freedom and the resources to create, to solve bigger problems, and to contribute on a much larger scale.
So the crucial point is this. Instead of just rejecting the system, you master it. By generating wealth through purposeful, ethical work, you gain the power to build the world you actually want to see, funding the projects and ideas that you truly believe in. That's the real rebellion.
Okay, so let's bring all of these ideas home. The final step is all about creating a personal framework. It's about taking these big philosophical shifts and turning them into a practical guide for actually navigating this new path.
And let's be super clear. We're not talking about some rigid 5-year plan that's just doomed to fail. No. This is about building a dynamic blueprint, a kind of personal philosophy that guides your decisions and helps you course correct as you move toward your ultimate vision.
And this 4-part framework is such a powerful way to structure your thinking. You start with what you want to avoid, your anti-vision. That's a huge motivator. Then you clarify your destination with a vision. Your mission becomes the bridge between them, and your standards make sure you don't settle for less on the journey. Ultimately, this is the goal, to stop splitting your life into different compartments. It's about merging your identity, your values, and your skills into one single pursuit, where your unique value becomes both your purpose and your source of profit.
And so we'll leave you with this one final, powerful question. It reframes the entire search. Instead of stressing about finding the perfect job title, the focus shifts to choosing a direction, a meaningful way, and then building your life's work, one step at a time, on that path.